Ancient relations. The sun's rays began to emerge from the east. The first light hit the males on top of the woods, and it was Cadio who first got awake. He saw Carlo beside him, but Siddiq was missing. He shook Carlo up. "Wake up. Siddiq is gone." Carlo immediately alighted as the two searched for Siddiq and found him nowhere in the wide branch of their tree. "Where did he go?" Carlo asked. Then, the two looked at each other. "Oh no, he must have fallen." The two hurriedly went to the trunk of the tree and was about to scale down when they saw something curled up on the lower branch of their tree not far from them. It was a huge serpent sleeping. Its body was bulging as if it had eaten something big. Carlo and Cadio were shocked and both thought about Siddiq. No one spoke a word for fear that any sound they create may awaken the serpent in its sleep. They knew the dangers of serpents on trees as they could move swifter than them using their long bodies. Carlo motioned to Cadio to back off slowly and to head towards the twin trees beside their tree as they carefully crawled on the branch. They were at the canopy layer of the rainforest. They held onto a vine that was stretching from the twin trees until they reached its body. They were about to scale downwards when they heard a familiar voice calling them. "Carlo, Cadio, this way." It was Siddiq. They looked up and saw Siddiq looking down at them. His head and shoulders were the only visible parts of his body, as if Siddiq was inside a hole in the trunk of the tree staring at them. Siddiq motioned for them to come up, that they immediately did until Siddiq was able to reach them. "Where have you been? We thought the snake had eaten you. Why did you leave us?" Siddiq replied. He was telling Cadio and Carlo to be quiet as he whispered. Carlo and Cadio then saw that the hole on the tree seemed to be a pathway inside it. "It was dark, father. I saw a light here last night when I awakened and slept again, for I thought it was nothing, but when I woke up one more time, I saw them again. I decided to go up, but it was gone when I reached this place." "Did you know that there is a snake on our tree?" Carlo asked. "No, there is." "Yes, there is. A large one. It must have eaten something and we thought it was you," Cadio replied. "Did you go inside this tree?" Carlo asked. Yes. I went inside until I reached the end. There is a door not far from here. I could hear footsteps and some voices, but I could not understand them. We should not stay here. We must go now. Let's leave this place," Cadio remarked. "Wait, don't you want to know what is inside this tree?" Siddiq asked. "No," Cadio and Carlo simultaneously replied. Okay, let's go." The three were about to move out when the doors inside the tree swung open. Inside they saw some lights. There were also stairs inside. They moved swiftly and ran towards the outside as they suspended themselves on the sides of the tree using its vines. They were hearing voices echoing out. "Ting nang nyong kuang nakang alisang nang gang galapong. Find out if the creatures have left." Cadio, Carlo and Siddiq watched as a shadow slowly neared the edge of the hole. They saw where the voices belonged to when one peered out looking at the tree where they had been. The kind was tall, wearing shiny leather clothes made out of snake skins. Its back was facing them and it was holding a thin but long wooden stick pointed towards their tree from below. He was peering inside it like a telescope. "Lang nang silang, mirang ahang asang sang pang nong. They are gone. There is a serpent on a tree." Cadio, Carlo and Siddiq saw other snares joined the first one as they looked down where the snare was pointing at. "Kitten. Great." Almost each one remarked as they disappeared fast. "We must go down now," Cadio remarked. Just as they were on their move downwards, a snare slowly emerged from the hole. This time it was looking at them. Cadio, Carlo and Siddiq saw him too. "Hurry." The males quickly scaled down the twin tree while the snare was pointing at them as several others looked down at them. The males were already nearing the canopy layer of the rainforest when ropes fell past through them. The sight of it made Carlo, Cadio and Siddiq tried as fast as they could to reach the extended branch of another tree, seeing the snares rappelling fast towards them. "Jump." As they jumped to the extended branch of the tree, a large net dropped at them. They were caught. They struggled to break free as they suspended in the air as the net swayed, making their bodies softly banged at the bark of the twin trees. Then, They felt the net being lifted up as snares emerged from their sides, suspending their bodies on the ropes and pointing their arrows against them. "What do we do?" Siddiq asked. "Don't move," Kadia replied. The net was pulled up until it reached another hole. The snares quickly pulled them towards the hole as they saw a small number of snares curiously looking at them. "Itang asang gang yang ding tong atang mang kang tang." "What are they saying?" Carlo asked. "I don't know," Kadia replied. The snares quickly took away the net, breaking them free, but they were surrounded. A door inside opened and a tall snare, Mong, their chief, appeared. His hair was dark black, his eyes were blue on the left and green on the other. His skin was white and attached to his body at the back was a hollow dark wood filled with sticks with feathers at the end, arrows. His limbs were muscular and his legs down to his feet were bare. The other snares with him were the same. He bent as he looked at them with great interest. "You are males, right?" The three looked at each other. They know what they are and he speaks their language. They all nodded. "What brought you here?" The three looked at each other again. This time they barely understood as Mong spoke their native language, deeper than the language they usually use that older males spoke. They were perplexed. "We were lost. We were chased by the Malservius," Kadia responded. "Malservius? Yes, they are our soldiers," Siddiq remarked. "Your soldiers? Why are they chasing you?" "We don't know. We just ran away from them." Siddiq was answering for the males. "Why did you run away from your own soldiers? You must have done something wrong, right?" No, we did not do anything wrong. We just thought of running away when they suddenly wanted us all to follow them. We were with the others when they came and all they ever wanted was for us to go back to Mathipus." The three were surprised. "The snares know where they live." They nodded. "What is wrong with that? If they just wanted you to go back to the lake, why do you have to run away from them?" "Because we feel there is something wrong. We think they will harm us," Kadia responded. "Why would your own soldiers harm you?" "Because they are no males," Siddiq unwittingly exclaimed as he gave his usual smile. Mong smiled back. "Then, what are they?" The three looked at each other. They were silenced. They do not have an answer until Kadio spoke his mind. "They are no males. We lived with them for several years. They saved our race from mercenaries when our kind was still living in the Middle North. But, now, it seemed strange that they suddenly changed their ways. I cannot explain, but there is something evil with them now." "You feel evil with them now after living with them for years? You don't make any sense. Do you understand?" "Because that's the way it is," Siddiq interrupted again. I mean, we all feel the same way. Actually, we don't like them really, but our fathers and grandfathers told us to just ignore them. Though we live with them in one place, they were so distant and reserved. Actually, we feel like prisoners because they have so many rules." A snare approached Mong and his face changed. "Come, follow me. I will show you something." Mong turned his back and so were the other snares. The males sensed that the snares were harmless, for they left them where they were as they followed Mong inside. They could escape if they want to, but their feet made them follow the snares inside their abode. They entered the door leading inside the twin trees and the males saw the other snares inside. They had houses carved inside the large trunk of the twin trees as young and old snares watched them walk. "Do you have food here?" Siddiq asked one snare beside him. Mong heard him and turned his back. He smiled as he spoke to a snare. The snare entered a passage and when he emerged he handed him something wrapped on a leaf and it was warm. Siddiq quickly opened it and inside was grilled meat. "What's this?" "It is snake's meat." Siddiq almost dropped what he was holding as the other snares burst into laughter. "That's what we eat here and a few other animals that we get from the forest. Maybe you will like this one." Mong reached to a snare and he was handed a bag full of nuts. "This one is okay. Come, we must hurry." They passed through an alley and went up the stairs. The torches on the side were providing light and the males saw that they were using sea leaves to light them. Its scent filled the still air inside as the three looked at each other. Mong sensed this as he kept climbing the stairs while speaking. "We learned it from you, I mean from your elders. We also have sea leaves in our forest and your elders gave it to us." At these words the males were even perplexed. Who are they? Why did they know about us? Why didn't their elders tell them about the snares they thought? They were about to ask this question when a door opened and before them was a large horizon at the end of a wide alley. Mong walked towards the edge of the hole followed by a few snares as the males were behind them. The view was from the other side of the twin trees. A snare pointed to a far place and they saw a seemed like large shadow of a mountain patching a large open flat land that was moving slowly to the west. There were glitters of light as the sun's rays hit them. Your army left your place and on their way to the Ozalbaneg land, I suppose. They are already bored with you, that's why they want to have other lands. Mong casually remarked while staring at the army of Malservius. Another snare spoke something to Mong and Mong turned his back facing the males. We are called snares, inhabitants of this rainforest. We are friends of your kind from long ago, way back when your ancestors were fleeing from the mercenaries. We found them inside our forest while they were suffering from hunger and exhaustion. We didn't know what to do with them at the beginning, but my great-grandfather told us to help them. They were helpless, wounded, and some were dying. They were scared at us like you the first time we showed ourselves until we learned what happened to them from their stories. We are against fighting and killing, and this arms we have are more for hunting than fighting. They stayed with us for days until we realized that they don't belong here, in the rainforest. Males died while living with us and we thought it was because of the food we eat, but later realized it was the temperature of the forest during the day that was warm and filled with warm gases emitted by the dead trees and decaying leaves. During that time, we live at the floor of this forest, but beasts and large snakes were often preying on us. It was the males who gave us the idea to live on the trees like their friends from the land called Nosnev, but the difference was the trees out here are abodes of large serpents in the night. We discovered the twin trees and this became our home since. The males carved passages inside this tree and made good shelters inside. We learned to do it ourselves in time. They also introduced the hsi leaves to us which we planted around. Not only that, the hsi leaves gave light and wine to us. It also protected us against beasts, for they do not like its scent. Though as much as we wanted them to stay, we cannot keep them, for the weather inside this forest does not go well with their bodies, your bodies. We told them about a lake in the far south which they named Mathipus. We frequented Mathus then, but when we saw an armed group of Malservius with them, we decided to back off and disappear. Though your grandfathers told us that they are their friends, we didn't trust them but respected your kind on their relationship with the Malservius. It is not because we think that the Malservius were evil then, but because we do not want ourselves get exposed to too many kinds for the safety of our small race, especially to those who carry arms for killing. We just agreed to see one another on certain days at the edges of the rainforest in the south, as we told the males to keep quiet about us. We are thankful that they followed it without fail until one day, we were told that they could not see us anymore. They told us that the Malservius don't allow them anymore to go elsewhere. We asked if they were okay and they responded positively. They said it is better that we don't see them for a while so the Malservius will not know about us. This made us doubt the intentions of your soldiers. Without your great-grandfather's knowledge we tried to find out why, but we saw that the males were fine in their new home, and their soldiers. That was then we became comfortable that the males were safe. Many years passed and nothing unusual was happening, not until you came here telling us about your soldiers. Mong looked back towards the horizon. The Malservius used you to build their force. Now, they are ready and on their way to some lands to make war. The three were speechless seeing the Malservius nearing the edges of the Dikov forest. It was their first time to see the lands outside the West Fortress and they are seeing its wide horizon from the tundra to the Dikov mountain. You must help us. Carlo was raising up his head as he looked at the tall snare, and Mong caught his eyes. He was about to respond when a snare motioned something to him. He then spoke with the males. The Malservius chasing you found your trail. They are below us now, but don't worry, we can take care of them. You are safe now.